Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, good, good. Ishaan, congratulations. It was so lovely to see you in this fab show. Watched it all at one go. It was great fun. Tell me what it was like to play Shooter Deval.
It was a whole lot of fun. I think it's a rare opportunity, a very interesting kind of character for even though I mean, if I can separate myself from it and speak objectively, I think it also kudos to them for really playing into the colorless casting of this. I find that with the diversity conversation, etc., often characters can be a little tokenized and typical, and I think this was just a part, and that was one of the reasons that I was intrigued in it because I found that there was opportunity to do something with it, and there was meat, so I enjoyed it, and beyond that, I think it was just such a great setup. I mean, such a eclectic set of people, all great actors who have done their due diligence. And Susanna Peer at the helm of things, who's a director that I think is made some of the most bingeable TV in the last few years. I've long admired her Danish films as well. So, yeah, she's a master craftsman, and so it was great to be a part of it.
It's very interesting because in the book, your character is actually Caucasian. I mean, he's Shooter Huxley, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're
So,
absolutely right.
so that was very interesting that they made him Indian, and it's also interesting that you're a rich Indian, and that's again a huge difference from the usual taxi drivers, terrorists, that kind of,
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Asian sort of characterization. So, talk a little
yeah.
about that. There's a lot of change happening there, even in the way South Asians and Indians are being represented.
Absolutely. I think this is definitely a stepping stone in that direction. And um, one of the aspects of the character that I enjoyed very much when I first read it also was that there's an intrigue and a mystery, and
Yeah.
it
Is
kind
he
of
rich?
builds.
Is he poor? Is he ransom rich?
Oh,
Is
is he?
he
I mean,
make your
I mean,
make
Rich.
your own bed poor?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think aside from even the rich and poor aspect of it, like really, who is he and why
Yeah,
and how does he mix with these people and why is Nicole obsessed with him and
right.
like why do the other guys kind of hate him and how does he fall into the scheme of things like so yeah, it was fun, and I think for me, I was able to only relate to the character put like emotionally on a certain degree. Other than that, it was a bit of a reach. My life has been very different. I never had even a foreign education, so to say. So, even the accent was work for me. It was new
But
for me, and it was
you went to school and college. You went to college as well, or you dropped out?
no. I did my A levels in
Okay,
India,
okay.
and so all of my education, formal education, was in limited to Juhu, uh, and uh, and
Where did
and
you
the only
study?
time that I studied in a school called Jamnabai for 10 years, and
Oh,
then
of course.
I was in a school for called Billabong, which off the record I don't even know if it was a school, but and then I did my A levels here, but yeah. So I what I was getting at is like culturally it was new for me, and it
Yeah.
was a far removed character, and so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed finding him. I think Susanna and I were both kind of finding like with the initial meeting that I had with her, she actually told me maybe you should go with a British accent, and it didn't make sense to me because I was meant to have gone to boarding school with Benji, and everybody else in the show speaks, a very
Yeah.
American language,
Right.
and so I was like maybe it should be that, and she was like okay. Okay, then run with that. And so then it was kind of on my work that I did on my own. And um, of course, there was a dialect coach on set for everyone because most of the characters were not American. Like most of the
Exactly.
actors,
I
Nicole
mean,
is Australian,
Eve
Eve is
Hewson,
Irish. Yeah,
Billy Howell, they're all
yeah,
different nationalities, no? And
exactly,
Isabel
exactly. So
Adjani, my God, Isabel
I
Adjani.
know. Yeah,
Imagine being in the same
yeah,
frame as her.
crazy, crazy. Imagine this. Imagine a musical number with Nicole Kidman, Isabel Adjani, Liev Schreiber who played Sabretooth in Wolverine,
Yeah.
and a bunch of these other like Dakota Fanning, and like yeah, and
And
just doing like
who's the best dancer? Of course,
in a murder
Ishaan
mystery.
Khattar.
Like it's I mean, listen, I didn't say it, you said it. But you know, it's a bit of a fever dream, and it was crazy. I think it was as crazy for all of us. We were like, what is this? And that's the thing. It was Susanna's distinct vision, and I think she stuck her guns from the beginning. And there was no space for questioning because she's like, this is what we're doing. And as much as we all protested, and as much as we all would want to like hijack, not hijack, but like, you know, like at least reason with her, it was her, it's her
But
party, right? So
yeah, but why? It was so lovely. It was one of the nicest bits about the show.
I'll tell you what. So it has certainly panned out that way, and I'm so glad because it could have been the best or the worst part of the show. There is no middle ground here.
Right.
And I think the reason we were all so thrown off was because it was like a surprise attack on us. It was
Ah,
never, it was not scripted. In the script there was a loose mention of a nightmare where these guys are doing a TikTok dance and then it turns into a nightmare, but it was never meant to be this, let alone being the open title sequence of the show. So it was something that it was the last thing that we shot. We were in Cape Cod for 4 months, and then the strike happened, and we had only 6 to 7 days of work remaining, which we completed in London and in LA. And after finishing the London schedule, we had a bit of a break for Christmas, and we were going to do the last 3 days of shoot after 7 months of a strike in LA. And over Christmas, we all received an email from Susanna saying like, "Hey guys, happy Christmas! Here's a dance that we need you to perform when you come back on set." And we thought it was a joke. Like, if the group chat just blew up saying like, "There's no way we're doing this. We're calling our agents. Like, this is ridiculous. This is going to be the end of our careers." And like, everyone was, like stepping into it with a lot of repetition. But I think at the end of it, it ended up being so liberating and so joyous. Even though we were arm twisted into doing it, I think everybody enjoyed themselves thoroughly, and that's what dance does. Dance
yeah.
is liberating, and it's and we all felt that. And I think it's a very clever decision to use that as the opening title sequence because it shows you just how fucked up these characters are. It throws the audience off, so they don't know what the tone of the show is going to be. And quite honestly, it's the only feedback I've been receiving is it's the most unskippable intro sequence of a series.
Oh, yes. I wonder whether you choreographed it, Ishan.
I hesitate to say I would have done it very differently, but it was not me. It was actually Cham Ladonna, who is Dua Lipa's choreographer,
Oh,
and she's also done Kendrick Lamar's "Not Like Us" video recently, and so she's a
wow.
big deal. So
Right.
they did not pull back. They didn't pull their budgets on that one at all.
Yeah,
That
but
was
it
a big
looks
deal.
pretty Bollywoodish as well. I mean, it could be in a Bollywood, could be Farah Khan. I mean,
You know,
it's
she
not
called me and
beyond.
she said she loved the show.
Yeah.
So I won't. I don't think it's a reach to say that. Yeah.
And the other thing, Ishan, one of the last conversations I had with Irfan Khan was that, when he played Simon Masrani in Jurassic Park, he was very aware that he was playing this rich magnate tycoon type. And he was very happy about the fact that it was an Indian who was doing that. So, to come back to that idea of representation, it's also how we're being represented. So I find that very interesting that the point has come where Indians are really being represented for what they are actually as well. I mean, they're not just the underclass or the working class.
I mean, I would first of all acknowledge that you know that's a conversation you had with Irfan, who's one of my favorite actors, and
Absolutely.
um, so thrilled to hear that. And uh, I think I would go a step beyond to say that beyond just the fact that he's a rich Indian, there are many layers to the character. It's also a slightly coveted position in the scheme of things because Susanna's perspective on these characters was very much an outsider's perspective, and
Right.
and they're you know eccentric and crazy, but also despicable, and also like morally very questionable, and that's what makes them great characters. It's almost tricky to walk a thin line where you're playing a character that's a little more grounded, a little more real world, perhaps, in the scheme of things like this. It's you have your hands tied a little bit, and it gets tricky. But um but I was so glad that I was given this character, because um there are many qualities to him that are very attractive. Even the fact that he plays down his
Down
wealth,
his, yeah,
and that to me was very interesting when I read it. I didn't see it coming, and yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a stepping stone as far as even representation is concerned, and in general, just a great part to play. And I think,
absolutely.
from what I know, they were pretty open about the casting to this. I don't think they were married to the idea of doing even an outside ethnicity like casting. I think people across the board were going out for it. I know white people that were going up for it. Um, so yeah, it's great that this happened.
Just the last couple of questions, Shan. I know we have a time limit. One is, of course, we've all heard how you love playing, loved acting with Nicole Kidman. But, Bono's daughter is not a small deal as well, although I'm sure she'd like to be known as more than just that. But that's pretty cool, isn't it?
I mean, of course, he's iconic, and of course, um, it's such a cool thing and a flex to be able to say,
Yeah,
you're a rock star's daughter. But I would like to add, and please quote me on this. It's a big deal to be Eve Hewson
yeah,
at this given point of time. She's a very talented actor. She's a bona fide
absolutely.
star,
Yeah,
and she deserves the attention that she's getting.
absolutely.
She is one of the young actors in my 6-year young career that I've really enjoyed working with, and yeah, so like, it was all great. I mean, Dakota also, for that
Yeah,
matter, has been working since she was 6. So
she was 6. Yeah, I know.
she's like a young old person. Like, she's just so calm on set, because this is literally second nature to her.
Right.
Um, so um, so yeah, great set of people. Huge shout out to Eve. Nicole, I am happy to report, is as wonderful in person as she is, on screen. She's of course an icon, but I think she's a very wholesome person.
Yeah.
And I shared some of the. She's very warm to me, and I think that's the quality with all the stars, is they make you feel, like, important and are present with you. But I think it goes beyond that. I think she's also just a person who is, first of all, she's very maternal, and secondly, she's deeply interested in different cultures, among other things. It's what makes her a wholesome person and a well-rounded person. And one of the most, I think, profound conversations I had on the set was with Nicole, and I'll remember, cherish it forever. And I in fact met her recently at the after party at LA, and told her that, as the last meeting I had with her, I told her that, the one conversation that we had as we were wrapping the show was about certain communities and themes and identity, and one of the next film that I'm doing is on similar themes.
Oh,
So she was like, "Were you impressed to know that I know about all this?" She's very sweet, and I'm very blessed that I got to work with these people.
okay, so just the last question. So you've got Beyond the Clouds. I mean, among the, the international filmography, you've got Suitable Boy. This, where does that take your international career?
I mean, we'll
And this
find out,
time,
right? I would be a bit of a clairvoyant to be able to answer that at
no,
this
but you
point.
must have got a lot of attention this time as well at the premiere, right?
Yes, for sure. And
I saw a lot of write ups on you as well, a lot of interest in your work.
I, I've always kind of strived to go wherever the good work is, and that is my priority. And of course, it's a rare and coveted and hard to access position, to be in a place where you can balance a Hollywood career and keep doing relevant work, here. And I feel, um, of course, it's going to take a lot of work, but I feel I'm going to give it my best shot. And my priority, like I said, is to go wherever the good work is.
Right.
I wouldn't want to shortchange that for anything, because I really feel your choices define you as an actor, and our choices are the result and the subject of the opportunities that we receive. So my hope is that, more such wonderful opportunities, even better opportunities, come my way, and hopefully I'll be able to um, do justice to them.
So next up is the Royals or the Neeraj Kaiwan movie?
Oh, you do your research.
Of
Um,
course.
Next up is the Royals. Royals should be on
I'm
Netflix
looking
globally.
forward to it. It sounds delicious.
It is. It's a whole lot of fun, and it should be on Netflix, I think, early next year. And I'm just going to start shooting now. So
For Neeraj.
yeah,
Great. Wonderful. Wonderful to talk to you. And I wish you all the best and a great career, especially in Hollywood, which we all, of course, aspire to. Thank you so much. Bye.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was lovely talking to you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.